This podcast and its content was created and recorded on Kaurna land. We would like to acknowledge the Kaurna people, the traditional custodians of the land we reside on, and their connections to land, sea and community. We pay our respect to their elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today.
Hey, welcome back to Here We Crow.
Welcome back to you.
Thank you.
Dan is alive.
I'm alive. I'm back. I made it. The band is back together. We're here to talk about lots of things. But first, Sam, welcome.
Hello, Daniel.
Ben, hello.
Hi, Dan.
Lauren. How's it
Hey,
going?
good. How are you?
Oh, look.
How you been, man?
I'm a lot better. I'm
good.
doing well. I've had a bit of my neck cut out.
Bit of the wars.
Having a great time. We're going to talk about disappointing loss to the Bulldogs over the weekend, 45 points. It was set up by Vic Media, as we know. It was all a ploy. We're going to preview this week. It's, as they say in AFL cliches, time for the Crows to respond. Against the Lions on Sunday.
Please respond.
We have some nuffies in. Got a few other segments that we normally have. But first...
You are missing... Oh, no!
I was actually going to say, Sam, but first, Ben.
No, you were. You were not.
you know I was.
No trigger happy Sam. Yep.
Come on, man.
So, number 57. What a number. So, number 57 is the number of goals that were kicked by Rankin before we traded in him.
Oh, there you go.
Interesting. That's a good one.
So, there you go. Less happy is Showdown 47. In 2019, we lost by 57.
I don't want those kinds of stats, Ben.
However, in 2022, last year, we beat North in Hobart by 57.
Oh.
That was a game you guys weren't at.
That was the game we smashed them and Sam was still complaining.
Yeah, that's right, because that was us to finish.
Oh, that was the worst 57-point win I've ever seen.
Oh, that was terrible though. That game.
It was wonderful to beat North.
Was that the last round?
Nah,
wasn't it?
No,
I thought it was towards the end.
No,
of the
we
year,
had a
wasn't
few
it?
more games after that.
Oh,
No,
okay.
the last round was our smashing in the Showdown.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. We watched that at the Goodie, didn't we? I reckon that game.
Yeah,
Remember?
that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's too long ago.
Anyway, reminiscing on the podcast. Probably should just move on.
The funny thing was, I actually forgot what number episode this was. So I tried to look on our Instagram from last week, and no one wrote what number episode it was last week. So I'm like, crap.
The title should be there, shouldn't it? I think. No. Oh, it's episode 11.
Anyway, yeah, no, but it doesn't say how many, 50 odd.
Oh, 57, yeah.
It's Sean Wren's Guernsey plus Scott Thompson's Guernsey, is 57. Anyway.
That's cheap way of getting the stats
Yeah.
there, Dan.
It really is. For our beer this week, we've gone a bit back alley Sally. We found we found a beer, a local beer that's probably not in stores, but they're on online.
What does Back Alley Sally normally sell you?
We've got a beer from Muffy Malone Brewing, which is based in Aberfoyle Park in South Australia. You can go onto their website. You can go on their Instagram, Muffy Malone. We've got their hazy pale. It says here, the ultimate sessionable brew, boasts tropical flavours, silky on the palate with a crisp, juicy finish. Now, I heard of this through working with the brewer's wife, and yeah, she posted about it, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe we can get some for the pod. I had it hand delivered to my house on a Saturday morning, and yeah, we're giving it a crack.
Not far from here.
Not far from your place.
Wow.
Wow. Music. Lauren.
Hey. Oh, you're going to let me go first?
That's why I said your name.
Yay. All right. I've
It's
got
one of our worst starts ever, I reckon.
What?
Yeah.
It's been good. What are you talking about? Bloody hell, Sam. Every time I think it's,
Nah, it's been pretty good. It's been
Shut
pretty good. Come on.
Don't dig up now.
Look, I'm just going to hit you with a throwback.
Oh, no.
It's that time of the week. Also, I've got all three of you here to annoy. But I think you might like this one. Just thinking about, pondering on the game on the weekend and how
Depressed.
it was something. Anyway, it's just
You pay the Smiths.
heard this song and it just reminded me of the Crows.
I think Lauren went and saw
You know
Back
what?
Alley Sally after the game and was enjoying that one afterwards.
My. What's it going to take to do it?
Certainly not what we delivered on Sunday.
No.
That's a Man Van Helden, by the way. Classic.
Saturday.
I reckon it's a good pre-game warm-up track. I'd
Yeah,
be
I'd agree
cranking
with
that
that.
in the change room.
Yeah, exactly right. And when I picked my song this week, I heard it last Friday when it came out and thought, oh, Ben might enjoy this. But we don't ask for people's opinions on the songs anymore because we cut that out of the pre-game warm-up. But this song's the new one by Blur. It's called The Narcissist.
I heard no echo. There was distortion everywhere. I found my ego. I felt Roberto standing there. Found my transcendence. It played in
Some lovely stuff there by Blur.
That sounds interesting. I haven't listened to it yet.
I love the backup vocals in that song. It's a good one. Might have to cover it with Lizzie as it gets
Maybe.
I can't wait
Notoriety.
to get around that album. Pretty excited. I
That's
love
exciting.
Blur.
Yes.
more. Great band. And that is the pre-game warm-up.
Sweet ass.
All right, so let's just rip the Band-Aid off and talk about the shit show that was the game on the weekend. It was the Bulldogs smashing us by 45 points. Could have been a lot more. It was our most uncompetitive game for the year and probably the one that we can't take many positives away from at all, if any. So not to sound too negative, but it was just that kind of game, I think. I think, I've taken a few things from it. It was the opposite from the full team effort we had the week before. We just didn't show up for this one. There was a lack of energy. Not that I want to pick on Rob, but I did make a note of the lack
But
of
you
energy.
will.
The lack of energy was personified by lethargic efforts from Rob, I thought, a few times. Hands on hips, stopping the chasing at times. There's some pretty bad footage. I'm surprised Kane Corns hasn't jumped on it because he loves these kind of things. Obviously, losing Mitchell Hinge to concussion hurt with Duday already out in the first quarter. It's messed with our backline structure. Leaders were well down after being so good the week before, like Smith and Sloan were both disappointing, I thought. The forwards were obviously well beaten and just had poor service all day.
Yeah.
Bailey Sniff absolutely smashed us, played the game of his life, really, and their mids just absolutely belted us. Guys like Miller, Parnell, Himmelberg, Himmelberg came in and had 5 disposals. Berry came in and had 12 disposals at 50%. Fogg only had the 6. Saligo was really disappointing, 7 disposals at 42% efficiency. And Rochelle only went at 43 despite kicking a couple of goals. Clearances, Rob actually won. Rob won 63 hit out, so he had 10 more. We had 10 more clearances than the Bulldogs had, but we still couldn't turn that around into anything positive. And they had 101 more disposals and only 13 more inside 50s despite dominating us on the scoreboard. One last thing, free kicks in front of goal as well hurt us massively.
So I think Dan summed that up pretty well. What's our next segment?
Yeah, I think that's all good. We've got time
I
for
wanted
tonight.
to say my thoughts.
Go ahead, Lauren.
Woof.
Yeah.
Woof, indeed.
It was-
I have literally nothing to say. It was not good.
I think there's more to talk about when it's a loss.
Well,
You keep saying that, but I have nothing.
I have plenty.
just one other thing I wanted to say, Sam, and you can get into that stuff. But I just think what hurt the most about this game is that it's still possible for us to have that kind of game. And I know everyone talks about like we're still rebuilding, blah blah blah, but it's the trust factor. Like we could take out of all the games, even though we had a couple of disappointing losses at the start of the year. Like what it could take away is there was a different brand of us actually being competitive for the full game or being able to run out games. And this game, we just didn't seem to be switched on. So the thing for me from a trust level is that we could do that at any time.
Yeah. It's a really good point, actually. Yeah. And I think that's why we sit back when we play games where we might even be favourites in the betting. We might be playing at home against a weaker opposition, but we still sit back and go, oh, do I want to tip us on the podcast? It's like, I know Laura tips us most weeks, but like...
It's unfortunately a Crow's DNA thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know that it's possible at any time. And
I think we'll get better at that. I think the consistency will come. Like, I think we were still the second or third ranked, our youngest team this week. That will come with time. We had some players that basically didn't show up on the weekend, and that hurt us with the players that were already out, which were really key players that have been playing really well this year. And then to lose another key pillar in our defence, they're like 10 minutes into the game.
How disappointing is it for those guys that come in, though, that are apparently knocking down the door to come in? And I would argue we brought in guys that weren't knocking down the door as much as some others.
Agree. Yeah.
Like Himmelberg and Berry weren't exactly knocking down the door, and they've come in and just played like shit. Yeah. Like, you've got to take the opportunity, surely.
Yeah. And I think it was unfortunate that we brought in Himmelberg and Gollant into the side for their first game this year for both of them, I think. Maybe.
Oh, Himmelberg played earlier.
Oh, he played earlier. Yeah, it was unfortunate we had to switch our forward line up so much for this game, that was so important with Filthy out. Was resting Tex, did we need to rest him after Filthy wasn't playing? Like, was this just something that we had pre-planned at the start of the year and felt the need to go through with it?
It sounded like it.
Really didn't feel like the week to do it in the end, did it? And not that if he played, we still lose. I'm not convinced he would have made any difference, but it just felt like the wrong time to do it. He played so well there last year too. Yeah. Disappointing.
What's happening? What's happened to Berry? Honestly, what is going on there?
We've had a few players drop off the cliff. Like Schoenberg's the same as well.
Yeah, he is.
But Schoenberg, at least Berry's showing a little bit in the sandful. Schoenberg's not even showing anything there.
No, he has been.
Has he?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He's had a couple of good disposal runs and goals and stuff. Like, not amazing, but neither's Berry. Like, hasn't been amazing.
No.
Could it be a bit disheartening for these guys? Like, and it shouldn't be, but I'm just thinking, like, in their psyche, like, being taken over by guys like Saligo and Rochelle, like, who've come in after them. Could that be playing into it?
That seems a bit like you'd hope that that's not the case.
Nah.
That would probably say more about them than anything, which is not a good thing.
That to spur them on more than
absolutely.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like the case.
It's not the most fun of weeks this week, is it?
No.
So, well, last week we talked about how last year we were looking pretty good, feeling pretty good about ourselves, then came up against GWS and did pretty much what we did against the Bulldogs this week. And we said we hope that doesn't happen. We don't think it will, and it did.
Yeah.
Jinxed it, Ben.
100%. I thought of that during the game, Ben, that we brought up the GWS game last week.
Yeah, so that was disappointing. I didn't love during the week all these questions getting, like statements getting asked of our players, Robbo reckons we could win the premiership. What do you think? Yeah, I reckon we probably could. I don't know. It's just, I think we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. I think I'd like to hear our players saying anything's possible, but I think we've got a lot to do before
Matthew Nix
we're putting ourselves
that.
out there. So I think I think it's just one of those things where it's easy for a younger team to start thinking, well, we've nearly knocked off top teams and we've just smashed Saints. How good are we? And then not quite turning up for that week.
Yeah. Burnt some horrible chances in the first quarter too. We watched the replay tonight when we were still sort of, within reach of Western Bulldogs, and we had a couple of key inside 50s that with Keys and Pedler that just went absolutely nowhere. Like just panic kicks in the end, not knowing what to do. Whether that's a breakdown of the midfield or the forwards were just nowhere to be seen. It was hard to watch. It was a terrible game. It was a shocking game to watch.
I think we're also not necessarily adjusting as well as other teams to the conditions. So we struggled in the sauna of GWS. We struggled with the wet and slippery this week. As I talked about, these long shadows in Launceston when we played there, we struggled against the Hawks. So I think maybe we've got a game that really stands up well when the conditions are going for us, but we need to build a bit of ability to still do well when things aren't going perfectly.
Is that a worry? Well, it's a worry.
Well, it is a worry at the
something to be-
moment, but hopefully it's something they can learn from and work it out, because I think what is a worry is that other teams seem to work out, well, if they can put a lot of pressure on us and tackle us a lot, we tend to lose. So Bulldogs average normally about 56 tackles a game. They did like 74 to us, and they tackled more than us despite having the ball 100 more times than us. So they obviously knew what they had to do to put the pressure on us, and we just couldn't deal with it. As Dan said, we won the clearances, but there's clearances and then there's clearances.
Like that one we watched on repeat tonight.
So
perfect tap from Rob down to Dawson. Dawson handballed it
We were
literally
getting
to nobody.
clearances without any connection. So we weren't doing anything useful once we got it. Well, rarely we were. So, yeah, I think we certainly got a lot to think about in terms of how we're going to go longer term and not being found out by teams, being able to just stop our dynamic play.
Are we concerned by some of the poor performances across halfback with Miller and Parnell this week?
Who?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I feel like our back line sort of didn't adjust well once Hinge went down, and then we lost structure and I don't know. I didn't notice the halfback as much as just the way that they could spread easily from any contest, really.
I just think that they played so well last week in a game that we, were obviously dominating.
But they played against St Kilda, who let those sorts of players dominate.
Yeah, but that's the thing, isn't it? They come up against a team that won't let them do that, and suddenly they look useless. So.
That's the one thing I took away from the game is that the Western Bulldogs were playing our game much better than us.
Yeah,
taking it
absolutely.
on the outside, getting uncontested possessions, no real pressure from the Crows.
They had players everywhere.
Yeah.
And Bailey Smith was just running around doing whatever he liked.
I mean, in theory, when you look at their list, they should be better than us at our game. But
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But it's still disappointing. I think like even guys like Dawson had an off game.
Yeah.
He's probably his first off game for the year.
Yeah, probably his first properly off game.
You can't quite put your finger on exactly why it happened, but it seemed to be something across the board.
So if we come out and play pretty well against Brisbane this week, is it just, we forget about it?
Hopefully it's an anomaly.
Anomaly?
Anomaly.
If we somehow beat Brisbane, I'll forget about the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I'll forget about it. I've already forgotten about it, to be honest. That's why I don't want to talk about it.
Well, let's get
I'm
into
moving
votes. Let's get into some votes, Lauren.
These are purely stat-based votes because I missed most of the game on Saturday and haven't watched any of the replay.
Oh, my God.
So these are
You can't
all...
say that. You can only say you watched the KO Mini.
Yeah.
Nah, I didn't watch any of it. I was busy. I had to do things. Anyway, excuse me. 3 votes go to Rory Laird. He had 34 disposals, 10 tackles, 10 clearances, 6 score involvements. 2 votes goes to Shit Game Dawson.
Wow, this really upsets me.
22 disposals, 7 clearances, 34 pressure acts, 5 intercept possessions, 5 score involvements and a goal. Doesn't sound too bad when you say it like that.
Yeah.
And I gave 1 vote to Chase Jones, who had 23 disposals, 618 metres gained, 5 clearances, and the most kicks at 19.
To be fair, I did watch the shit show, and I've got 2 of them in my 3
Yeah.
as well.
Me too. Sam, over to you.
I gave 3 to Laird as well. 34 disposals and 10 tackles, and he had game high clearances. Not that they went anywhere, except for straight up in the air. 2 to Jones. I thought his game was solid again. Votes weren't easy this week. It was a mixture of picking players that were okay but well down from their best, and players that were just sort of doing enough. And then there was a lot that just didn't do anything. And so, saying all that, I gave 1 vote to Murray. I thought he was good in defence. He looked like he was mostly playing on Ugle-Hagan, who didn't kick a goal, 7 intercept possessions and 4 tackles. So he gets a vote.
Nice. And Ben?
I voted the same as Sam.
Oh, did you?
Wow. Well, I take that and
We
raise
did not even discuss. We did not discuss votes.
I'll take that and raise it by 3 because I voted the same.
Oh,
as
really?
Yeah.
I thought it was being weird. You're
No.
Murray. Yeah, right. Okay.
I actually didn't have Murray, and then I had another look, and then I switched someone out.
Yeah,
so
okay.
my person who got dropped out of that is in the Quiet Achiever, which is
The
next.
4th vote.
Hi, I'm Tyson Edwards.
You're such a quiet achiever.
Who did you have, Lauren? One of your lover boys?
Nah.
Lover boys.
I had someone who you thought had a shit game. Rory
was most
Sloane.
people.
Rory Sloane with 18 disposals, 6 tackles, 27 pressure acts and 3 marks. Pretty quiet. 27 pressure acts, not bad though.
Yeah.
He gets it. Good on you, Sloane.
Sammy?
Sloan dog.
Yeah, I gave this really no thought at all during the game. So I wrote Sloan down as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Should I take back my comments?
No.
No.
We're really engaged with this week, aren't
How about
we?
you, Ben?
Yeah, we've talked about struggle to find votes this week. I've given it to a man who game high score involvements.
Oh, get out of it, Ben.
So,
No,
boy,
Ben's
did he,
off the pod.
Boy, did he dominate
Fade
those
him out.
hit-outs this week.
Where's his mic? Can I unplug this? Where is he? He's number 1, isn't he? I think.
So, I think there's a little bit of
Oh my god!
confirmation
Would you get it
bias
over and
that
done
when
with?
when you watch a Rob game, where if
Wait.
you'll notice,
No.
Give it. You might as well give it to Himmelberg.
no, look,
He hasn't said the name yet.
yeah. So I didn't think it would be a popular choice, but
I'm still not sure you're not joking.
no,
This is
This-
Ben's
It
comedy.
is the quiet achiever.
no one here thinks he had a good game, yet he was.
Hey, I haven't said a thing.
He was our highest score involvement player. He did dominate the hit-outs. His hit-out to advantage was the same as the opposition ruckman. And he took a few marks around the ground. So I'm not saying he was like, I didn't put him in my votes. I didn't say he's our best player, but I still think he did do some decent things in the game that obviously no one else noticed.
Ben,
this is
I
Ben
will
bait.
interject here, and I want to say I did actually pay close attention to Rob's tap work.
Wait,
this
who's
week.
the player? You haven't said their name yet.
I think you could have worked it out by now, Dan.
I watched Rob's tap work closely this week, and I didn't think he did too bad. The problem was our midfielders were playing from behind, and the Bulldogs were getting in front and then taking the ball. So
and then
not
risk
really
of
Rob's
us-
fault. I'm going to say not really Rob's fault.
At risk of us getting flack for giving Rob flack is, we've got a couple of Rob sympathisers here. So
Look, he's a confident man.
he's
Very confident.
Honestly, I'm not
great
saying
man.
it was the world's best game, but I think we do notice everything that's done poorly.
Everything.
No.
All right.
Well, you saw that beautiful coast-to-coast goal that he took the mark.
Yeah, and then we saw him fresh area ball like 10 minutes later.
Hit Gollan on the lead, chest out.
in a game where there was at least 19 poor players, he wasn't the most poor.
What did we kick? 5 goals,
Who
10,
was the worst player?
15
on
scores.
Saturday?
He was
Himmelberg.
involved in 8 of those
Himmelberg.
scores.
For Himmelberg, sorry, thanks, Ben. For Himmelberg to come in and get 5 disposals.
Yeah.
Come on
So
now.
is that who you've got for your quiet achiever this week,
Yes.
Dan?
No, I have got one of your lover boys, Lukey Pedler.
Oh, cool. He's not my lover boy because, as I mentioned last week when you weren't here.
I heard it.
Oh, yeah. So we can't go there.
Yeah.
I'll have you
Shane's
guys
still
know
number
that
one.
I was missing you so much that I listened to the Tuesday night drop of that pod.
Whoa, wow. Stayed up late for it.
Yep. I
on ya.
had the AirPods in while I was getting one of my kids to bed. And
Nice.
listened to the
Daddy, read us a story. No.
dulcet tones. It was too late for a story, clearly, by that point. And that's that.
If you want to know what's in the spring, get into Rowan Jarman.
Cut down version this week. One good thing. Not that that's unusual, actually.
That's every week.
There's a second good thing.
Is there? You got something?
Ben putting Rob as the quiet achiever.
We love Rob here.
I think some vigorous debate is
Did
healthy.
Dan say
Yeah,
his?
that's good.
Did you say yours?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Luke
you did.
Pedler.
Peddler, sorry.
Yeah. This is my segment.
Yep.
So good things. Kane Corns.
Good thing.
Good thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Kane Corns went back to country footy on the weekend.
Oh,
Did anyone see this? Playing for the Moiston Will. How do I?
Moist and Will.
Moiston Willora. I don't even know what animal they are. Anyway, they scored 1 goal 9-15 to Hawkesdale MacArthur, 20 goals 14, 134. For the keen mathematicians amongst us, that is a 119-point loss.
119.
Damn, it's following him
It is.
like a bad smell.
Yep.
Footwear sacrificed at half price and equipment slashed to half price. Rowan Jarman's huge half price sale. Don't miss it.
The umpire in the GWS Saints match calling for Brent to come back 2 metres when it was Xavier and then pinging him 50 metres.
Is there anyone
Oh,
called
yeah.
Brent in the AFL now?
Daniels.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Or Brett. Is it Brett Daniels? Brent
I
Daniels.
thought it was Brett.
Or Brent. I can't remember.
Either way.
Yeah. He's in one of my fantasy teams. The Dimmer Lovin' we're all going to be treated to this week and this weekend. Not looking forward to that.
Boring.
Yep. And then we had a quick chat about this pre-pod, but I actually put it in my bads as the outcry about Tom Morris doing his job.
Yeah.
I think that he was just leaking a story that he got obviously fed. It was every right to leak it, and to blame the leaker maybe and not him.
Yeah, no, I don't think blame. My problem with this is not necessarily blaming the leaker. I think you're right that some reporters going to do it regardless.
Yeah.
That's the job. My issue is one, trying to glorify Tom Morris and bringing him back into the fold when he's an absolute douche canoe.
Oh, I'm definitely not disagreeing with you there.
And secondly, it's just the climate where we have people leaking the actual leaker. Someone in the club, there's always someone in the club you can't trust, and I just imagine them on the phone to like Caroline Wilson being like, "Hey, guess what I found out tonight?" Like, grow up.
Yeah.
Like, the clubs should get the opportunity to have someone quit, like, and that's the news. Like, the club itself, it's not the climate we're in, but it's just shit.
Yeah.
Like, it was already ruined before he came out and said it this morning. Like, what's the point?
I just don't understand how it's so hard to keep things secret. Like, surely they could just...
Because they can't trust people.
No.
Clearly.
But like,
People love gossiping.
Yeah, but surely they could have just kept it to a really small amount of people if it was going to be such a big deal. Like, maybe Dimmer just told people.
Oh, they probably don't. They're probably that accustomed to it now that they actually don't care. Like,
yeah,
it's
probably.
like, it's going to get out anyway.
Yeah, that's
Like,
it.
maybe he told the players last week or something.
Well, they said they didn't know,
Yeah.
apparently, and they didn't train yesterday, so they didn't find out technically until...
This is my media brain talking, but in a way, could be better for Dimmer that it leaks first, because then instead of just him coming out and being like, I quit, there's no like weird speculation that's going to happen.
No.
Because the speculating has already happened the night before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
So
that's a good
everyone's
point.
kind of like already G'd up.
Yep.
Then he can come out and go, yep, I'm leaving. These are the reasons. And everyone's gone, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, celebration of love for Dimmer.
Yeah, that's
There's
it.
no like shitty media behind the announcement because it's already happened.
And it's not like the media conference where all the reporters are just going...
Exactly.
Like talking to each other
No,
it's fair. Very fair point.
Got anything else?
No, that's it.
Thank you, mother, for the rabbits.
Still makes me laugh every time.
I don't know what we've got here. Sam?
Rankin contest is what we've got here. So Rankin obviously went in to pick the ball up like you are supposed to do off the ground. Went in and did catch someone high.
With his bum.
Yes. Very much going for the
It's a little
ball.
hip bone.
Yeah. And just the conversation afterwards, which made us really want to put it into Vic Bait tonight, which was between Jared Healy and David King. And it was what Healy said. David King said, you chose to bump. You choose to bump and it's a fine line, which I would argue he didn't choose to bump.
Say he chose to pick up the ball.
Yeah. Healy said, I agree with it. I'm just trying to, he's just trying to challenge the ball, and that could be his alibi. It's just like this sort of chatter about these incidents is just ridiculous.
That sneaky Rankin trying to get off picking up the ball and the guy hitting his bum with his head.
And then David King launching in about 2 minutes later with line ball, which way do we want to go as a code? It's just, we've got some of it in social media, so I'll save mostly for that, but I hate it. Fox Footy are really bad for it now. When the game finishes, they go over to that idiot Ralphie and they just ask him about all the potential suspensions. It's like no one cares about anything except for that, according to them. It's so weird.
It's turned into an absolute circus,
It
hasn't it?
has. Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, that's it. That's Vic Bait.
Hey guys, Harry Schomburg here, and here we go, Crow.
Out of bounds, on the full.
Just like to lead the social media segment with some quality banter from our Eston Nuffy Dino. He has said, with Richmond now due to drop down the ladder with Dimmer going, that we could legit be the new ninthman this week if we, depending our results. We need to get pumped again and drop out of the 8 to ramp up the sack Knicks propaganda and to fire the pride up the Adelaide Crows Pride Facebook page, because that's an absolute fun time if you read that. He also said, don't forget to talk about how good Rob was on the weekend. He went 100 plus in fantasy. He did fuck all to help you win a football game, but fantasy is where it's at, according to Dino. All a bit of fun with Dino. Thanks, Dean.
Thanks, Dean.
Thanks, Dean.
Social media.
That's what we're doing.
Jack, thanks for your Vic Bait suggestion because you did say the Vic Bait has to be the Fox Footy Post of does rank and have something to worry about. Jack says, I'm not sure I've seen a more textbook example of someone getting low to the ball while protecting themselves and they tried to drum up criticism. Too right. Bozza says wholesale. So I think we're in for a treat. 9090 Crow. Dog Act. Umpire reporting ranking for a football action and wasting money. True. Vic Bait. Any chance of Adelaide playing at the MCG before round bloody 15 next year? Surprised we didn't get Cairns and Canberra this year. Nix needs to change selection so players aren't complacent.
Yeah.
Not a bad point.
We did have a lot of changes this week.
We did have a few changes. Didn't really make a huge difference, did it?
It's a good call about where we play, though, and I was going to bring that up earlier, but I'd love to know the reasoning why we have to play in Ballarat every year.
Yeah, we have to play there. We play Cairns every second year.
We go to Darwin in a couple of weeks.
When did Port go anywhere?
Just thinking back,
They go to China.
Ballarat used to be known as like a second kind of home for Adelaide Crows back in the day. Like they used to have like a hub there where people used to like all support the Crows and all that kind of thing. I don't know if it's still the case, but I don't know if that's tied into why we play there.
I'm assuming that would be part of their reasoning for us to have to go there, because it's really strange that you'd play there in like back-to-back years.
Yeah.
Going back, we're like, why don't they come here? And I'm sure, I haven't looked at the draw, that we might play them twice in some years, and in which case that would be at our home. But we always seem to play there as well.
It's always bloody freezing there as well. Like it's just shit.
Well, Jetty says, heard on the weekend that AFL are going to play a game in Antarctica and Greenland. Just looking for the team that will play the Crows. Too right, Jetty. G. This is simplistic analysis, but the Dogs have a list full of adults who are professional and focus every week. We were down a couple of old pros, didn't focus to start, and then were overwhelmed. It's a grind to do it week to week. Toe stub for a young team, on to the next. That's the kind of attitude I like, G. So thanks for that. What else have we got there on the old Insta? Not much on the Twitter today.
Daniel, I think he's an all right player, but I really struggle watching Himmelberg play. I agree with you, Daniel. Couldn't agree with you more. Fazalari will leave that one alone. Dirkwood, please explain Butts shoving Maxi into Norton. Never seen anything like it and never want to again. We questioned this. I didn't see it, or I didn't pay any attention to it.
Did you say there was a photo sent?
Yeah, there's a photo, but it's not hugely explanatory.
Yeah, okay.
Dan, do you know about that?
No,
you're not listening.
No, I was reading the same thing you are, but I didn't see it either.
No, I might have to watch the replay again and see. Looks like it's down that end, so it might have been the last quarter.
Looks like Ben's got a mate on here, old Dirkwood.
Yeah, I saw that. Bozza, wholesale changes, 34, get your brother here, then retire immediately. Dirkwood, a pre-game song from Ben, please. Need one every week, actually. Eels and Gomez are my favourite bands too.
Is that your handle, Dirkwood?
I think
Dirkwood's this is your burner account.
I think we all know that I don't have an account, let alone a burner account.
But if you did have one.
Excuse me, Ben, what is that?
Ben, I think we've just uncovered something, Sam. Ben has...
No.
There is an account called Ben Turnbull.
So that is my family's account, which was when we were travelling around Australia in a caravan, just to let people know where we were. I can't say I've used it for 3 or 4 years.
Until you changed the username to Dirkwood.
Yeah.
And started asking the podcast
tell
questions.
me or tell me not if this does not sound like Ben. Have you ever seen Doc Clark training with the boys? I have a theory that he's stretched well thin, and because of his elite confidence, Rob's left to run his own conference.
No, it doesn't sound a thing like him.
That's a good one from Dirk, though. I like that. His elite confidence. I like that.
Dirk Benwood.
Yeah. Brilliant. And he also said, I think you forgot to review the cool drinks last week. Did we? I can't remember.
Yeah, we actually did.
At the end.
What did we have?
We had that candy heart one over
that's
there.
right. Yeah, that was ridiculous, wasn't it?
Was it bad?
No, it was pretty tasty,
it was good.
but it was very sweet.
Then we had the Shifty Lizard chocolate stout thing.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty good.
Do you want to review them
nice
now?
too.
Yeah. Oh, you just did. Okay.
Yeah. That's all we got for socials.
Yeah.
Pretty quiet. Oh, Bozza. We got to play Bozza.
I saw it a few days ago. There was someone, we can't forget about our fantasy league. That a bit of engagement with the fans.
I don't think anyone said that. I actually think most people said they couldn't care any less.
No, there was Tony.
No, I'm interested.
Tony was saying, he's on the charge and he is sitting in 8th place, keeping me out of the top 8.
Ooh.
I had a loss to Crips Unzips this week.
Crips and Zips is pretty handy.
Yes. No, he's still just out of the top 1,000. And this week we have another big showdown with Sam. Not Sam. You're not. It's not a big showdown. With Dan playing our second place person, collective mids.
I'm gonna have to do. Yeah, and guess what's happened already? Clayton Oliver is out.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
Who are you going to
Dan.
trade him to?
I don't know because I can't. There's not enough players. I can't do a double upgrade or anything. I can't. Sorry, I can't trade him to a good player and do an upgrade. I've got to do one or the other, and it's going to be. Yeah, I'm not confident to beat the second place. My overall rank just doesn't seem to be improving now.
No, I would say it's not improving. I'd say it's going the other way. I think you're back down around 10,000 now. I've dropped to 3rd in the overall rank. So we've got Crips Unzips and collective mids making us look all pretty poor.
Thanks, Sam.
Just imagine, you just wait till next year if Sam has a good year. He'll be bringing this up every single week for a lot longer than I do.
Yeah, he's
but he's not going to have a good year next year.
No, probably not.
Does some wacko trades to Sam.
Yeah. Lauren, we got Bozza.
Yes.
Bozza.
Hey guys, round 11 selections from the sauna. Bit of a preheat before a run tonight, so nice and quick. Gonna see a few changes this week, but I've got a funny feeling that Nixie is gonna back him in, and which is fair enough, I guess, from the previous weeks. But I'd say the matchups are going to change a fair bit with Brisbane. And we're going to have to get this right if we're going to get the points. So I've got Worrell coming back in finally with Duday, Tex and Thorpe, and Cook to finally come in after being in the best every single week and still not getting a run. Outs are Parnell, Hinge injured, Berry, Gallant, and that's number 34. So that's my selections for this week. We'll see how we go. Hope for the win. Speak to you next week. Thanks, guys.
I actually think Bozza could be pretty close this week, apart from, I hate to say it, but I still can't see Cook coming in. I wish. I'd really love to see him get a game, and I hope for the week that Bozza gets that one right, because he's obviously a fan, and I think, yeah, like you said, he's in the best every week, probably deserves a chance.
Yeah.
I think Worrell does come in because of Hinge.
Yeah.
I don't think Parnell will get dropped, because I think he had one good game, one bad game, so it probably doesn't warrant getting dropped just yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the rest I reckon spot on.
Filthy Intex back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I like it. Anything would be better than last week. The forward line. Anyway.
Enough is enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Another team's enough.
Well. Back by popular demand, it's the tag team duo, the 1-2 punch, fresh with high-level bird v bird analysis, all the way from Adelaide, the kings of the jungle, our Brisbane Lions nuffies, Nathan Bitmead and Maddie Bradbrook. Welcome, boys.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having us back.
No worry. I think our end-of-year polls had you highly rated. I can't remember. I didn't really read them, but I'm pretty sure they did. So it's good to have you back. And, let's face it, we don't know any other Brisbane supporters.
That's
There's
a
not many
fair
of us
call.
going around.
Yeah, I'll take it. That's for sure.
It's easier to get you guys in than to, try to hit someone up that we don't know. We couldn't even find a famous celebrity enough. I think we're happier with your quality last year, so we thought we'd give you another run.
They were funny.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Maybe
glad to
funnier
get
than
the
Dave.
call up. Yeah, no pressure.
How's the whiteboard behind you? What's going on there? The squad.
Oh, yeah. My partner drew that on. And then also my housemate's got some work stuff, like nothing specific. I think he wrote it up there when he moved in, and it's about human-centered design, and he's never changed it. So I look great when I'm in meetings, but I have no idea what it means.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Now, Brisbane are obviously flying to start this year. I feel like they've almost slipped under the radar. Probably not for you guys, but they're sitting in second, and everyone's talking up like Port Power, who are sitting third, and we kind of hate that. But 8 wins and only the 2 losses. One was to Port, but you're sitting pretty, just the 1 win behind Collingwood at the top. What's been going on this year at the Lions? What's your vibe?
Oh, I don't know. To be honest, I've been to both losses, so I'm going this weekend, so you guys are in with a chance. But yeah, no, it's definitely good. I think I feel a lot better during the actual season compared to the last few years. You know, always a bit nervous, and some of the games, like if you look at the losses of Port and Bulldogs, but then in between those losses was we beat Melbourne and Collingwood. So I don't know, just read into that what you will, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Is it a home ground thing? You guys obviously play super well up at the Gabba and have been maybe a little bit softish away from home. Is that something that bothers you, do you reckon?
Yeah, I think that's not a bad call, to be honest. I think, Gabba's a bit of a fortress, and we're pretty dangerous up there. I even think, following the stat line, I think some of our gun players seem to just play so much better at the Gabba, or the stats look like it. And yeah, when we got touched up, obviously we got touched up by Port round 1 at Adelaide Oval and stuff like that. But in saying that, 7 on the trot is kind of looking all right. So yeah, fingers crossed on for 8.
Yeah, it's probably harsh to say soft away from home when you've only lost 2 games for the year. But,
I have to say, I love the vibe watching the Brisbane home games though, and just like the Charlie Cameron Take Me Home Country Road after the whole crowd gets into it.
And we've stolen it.
We have stolen it, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's where we got the idea from. But
we're not really we're not doing it well though.
No, we're not.
We've stolen the idea and we have cooked it.
So, guys, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Brodie Smith from the Crows has 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton as his goal kicking song. Now, like, what an absolute banger! Like, we were like, he's not going to kick a goal, so it doesn't matter. We won't hear it. So he kicks a goal in Gather Round, and it was classed as not a home game, so they didn't play it. And then he kicked another one at the last home game, and it didn't get played again. Yeah. For what reason? We don't.
Because of the Whopper goal.
Because the Hungry Jack Whopper goal.
Oh yeah.
Because he kicked a Whopper goal, and they had the promotion for that. So
I don't understand why they couldn't play the song over the top of the promotion.
Well, we do it wrong anyway. We wait too long after the goal's kicked as well. So,
yes, absolutely.
We're not doing it as well as Brisbane.
Absolute
yet.
shit.
Someone needs to get me in there.
Yeah, Sherman's of a club.
We're going to take some tips from your guys. So.
Yeah, I reckon. Guys, Joe Danaher looks like he's hit some form. Are we looking at like normal services resume this week, or has he finally got some consistency?
I don't know. It's always rough. He's given me a few headaches for the year, that's for sure. Especially when I was at that Bulldogs game, I think after that one is when he kind of really started copying it from the media as well, and about his the way he plays the game. So to be honest, I'm just happy to see him converting and being consistent. Hopefully it's something they can maintain through the year. But personally, I'm more of a Charlie fan anyway, so I'm probably a bit more biased to when he delivers.
Charlie does like to play at Adelaide Oval, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes this week.
Yeah. How's Long Nadal going? I've remembered that nickname ever since you called him that last time on the pod.
Going all right. I feel like at the moment, like, to be honest, we've got so much happening in the forward line. I feel like he's due to probably have a bit more of a standout game, but I just feel like, I feel like he's fallen in line with, Charlie and Joey Danaher and stuff, kicking so many goals at the moment. Even Zach Bailey kicked 4 the other week, things like that. I just feel like he's due a bag and is probably, maybe about third, fourth man up at the moment.
What happened to the barometer, speaking of nicknames? Did he get delisted?
Who's the barometer?
He got dropped.
Reece Matheson.
He's in the 2s, I think, setting the tone.
He's still on the list. I thought he got delisted.
I think he's absolutely dominating 2s, isn't he? Isn't he an absolute possession machine and stuff at the moment?
Yeah, I think he's knocking on the door trying to get back in.
Yeah, maybe he's just timing it for the finals.
Yeah. Play, run, set the tone.
Love it.
And initially, for the start of the season, there seemed to be a few teething issues with some of your new recruits, like fitting in Dunkley into the midfield. But you seem to have built some chemistry as the year's gone on. Do you reckon these are the guys that are the missing link for you guys to actually win some finals this year?
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, you're right. I think it was a bit of a sluggish kind of start, when the midfield or the core midfield is kind of different, adding Dunks and, Ashy as well. It's always going to take some time to gel, but I feel like hitting their strides at the moment, putting up some good numbers and playing some good footy. So fingers crossed that's the missing link. In saying that, we've kind of been around the mark, but fingers crossed we can, go deep this year for sure.
That is a really exciting midfield when you can add in someone like Dunkley, but you also get a pick like Ashcroft in, who's just...
Do you love him?
How good's his first year of footy?
Yeah.
I love him. He's the best. Prince Charming from Shrek. He just delivers every week.
He's got that look about him, doesn't he?
He's going to win the goal of the year in his first year as well.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Can't beat that. All right, Nath, do you have some interesting stats to hit us with before we get into Dennis Armfield?
So I think last time I was focusing on birds, and I was trying to do some research before coming to this one, and let's just say there's not been many bird games, but you have played a lot of animals. So but looking at your win-loss at the moment, so was it 5-5, right? But you've played 5 games against animals and you've lost 4 of them. So only one you've won is a bird team, the Hawks. So what I did was I gathered your goals and points and your scores against animal teams and then put that against the animals and then got Brisbane's to see if we're going to have to lift, if we're going to be able to coast a bit. So looking at it, your average is 9 goals, 12 behinds, 66 against the animals. The animals sit 12 goals, 12 behinds, 84. But Brisbane sits 14, 11, 95 for the season. So we could probably take it a bit easy, I think, from what the track record is.
Is there any home ground advantage for us?
I didn't look into it, so probably let's take it. We lost to poor Adelaide Oval. So.
To be fair, the Hawks game we were lucky to win as well. So
that's true. There's some damning stats and damning form lines to go into this round with. But obviously, we've got you this Sunday. Are you boys going to make it to the game this time?
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty keen.
I don't know if I was sold on your response there, Maddie.
No, I'm definitely making it this time. Yeah, no, I'm very excited to go. Are you guys going?
Yeah, we'll all be there this time.
Did you not go to the last game? We met you at a game. Was that
we saw Nathan at a Adelaide and St Kilda game.
Oh, that's that game.
I'm pretty sure it was the game after. I missed the Brisbane game. It's my first time seeing Brisbane play at home in 4 years, so I'm pretty happy to save the airfare. But I saw you guys the next game on the hill. I was probably a few too many sober waters when I bumped into you.
So was there, and that's when you famously threw a cup.
Yeah, I did throw an empty cup at some Saints supporters that night. But, that was me going hard.
Yeah.
We are going to talk about who we think is going to win, but before we get into that, the more important thing is this.
Give the kick to Dennis. So we're right behind him, and the Carlton fans are right behind him. Once, twice, 3 times.
Oh, look at that.
Yes! He's the master blaster.
Now, as I said at the start, it's going to be a bit harder, I assume, to choose a Brisbane player that's going to torch the Crows this week, who's been potentially out of form, like a Dennis Armfield. But, boys, do you have any thoughts?
I'll jump in. Yeah, thanks, Nath. I wouldn't say heaps out of form, but someone I reckon that's going to torch the Crows. I'm going to go to Big O, Oscar McInerney.
Like that.
Going in against Rob. I don't think Sportsbet has a hit-outs market, but I'd take the overs. I reckon he's absolutely on for one. I could see him doing some work and setting up the midfield. So that's
talking about pick. Rob
hit-out
Riley,
king.
62 hit-outs O'Brien.
Watch this week. Mark my words.
I believe you. Don't worry.
We're back to last year. Big O, 40 hit outs, a goal, 15 touches. He's on for that again at least.
What's Darcy Fort doing at the moment? Is he injured?
I think he's just in and out. I think he's just like just fringing a little bit. So I know he played in the senior side a few weeks ago, but I think he's been back in the twos. I think so. All around it, but I don't think he's going to line up this week.
What about you, Nathan? Any Armfields from you?
Look, I was going to say Joe Danaher, but it's probably not fair. I think, to be honest, with no other real looking into it, I think Zach Bailey's going to play a really good game. I've been waiting for him. I was about to say I've been waiting for him to turn one on, but like Matt said, he's had a few good goal games, especially against Carlton. But yeah, realistically, I don't know. From just what I've watched from this year, I just don't feel like he's felt as comfortable from what I've seen. So personally, like if you take, like you said, it's pretty hard to pick. We've got a pretty good forward line, midfield, everything. So I think he would probably be the best, or the one I'd want to see do the most this weekend.
Yeah, that's fair.
Good call. All right, let's go around the table.
Does Ben have one?
Ben? Oh, Ben, do you have a say?
Just a couple of players I thought could really jump in their performance would be maybe like a Darcy Wilmot, or fresh off a subbing, someone like a Harry Sharp might do pretty well.
Picking on the rookies.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, they're going to be picking on Crows.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Matt rang me earlier today when we were discussing who we were picking, and they were two of his that he actually picked as well. So,
great minds.
Now, boys, before we let you go, what's your tip? Who's going to win and by how much?
Well, it's Brisbane. I think, I don't know, taking the confidence out. Hopefully we should win, get to that 8th game in a row. But I think, to be honest, you guys are going to make it a bit closer than some of our last games. I would put the margin at 24. But yeah, I think not realistically, I think hopefully we should come away with the W.
Nice. Maddie, what do you reckon?
Yeah, for me, I think we'll hopefully get the Chockies. But I reckon, maybe like 2 goals or so. I think the whole Adelaide Oval factor is pretty big. And I think you guys have got some good ins this week, don't you? Like with Tex back and
we should
stuff like that. So I think it should be, pretty competitive. So, it should be a good day out on Sunday, but fingers crossed we get there.
Right, well, we obviously hope the opposite. But look, thank you very much, Nathan and Matt, for joining us again on Here We Crow. We'll love to have you back next year. Likely we won't replace you with a celebrity. But appreciate your time, fellas, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thanks heaps, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, look, it should be a rip snorter.
So what do we think is going to happen this week, Samuel? What's your vibe?
I think we'll be competitive. I'm not going to tip us, because I would never tip us in a game where we're likely to lose like this. But I feel like this is one of those games where we might see them really come out. Like, it's actually bad weather though, isn't it, on Sunday? I think it's predicted to rain, and
I believe Ben said 8 mil of rain.
Yeah, and it's obviously later in the day too.
I said 5 to 10. I wasn't quite that precise.
All right. So we've shown that we obviously don't love playing in some conditions, which is a bit of a worry. And obviously Brisbane used to that slippery ball playing at the Gabba at night a fair bit. So they're obviously a more talented team than us. Their midfield's better than ours. Their forward line's probably going to beat our defence pretty comfortably. So we need the midfield to do something. I'm going to tip Brisbane by 36. Cool. But a competitive 36.
Like Sam, I'm worried about the weather. I think they don't have a particularly high disposal efficiency, so they don't rely on perfectly clean ball. They've had 1-7 on the trot, 4th for contested marks. So maybe that doesn't make much difference with the weather, but I've lost a bit of confidence after the Bulldogs
sound like you're going to fall asleep.
Are you still with us? What was he saying?
It's past Ben's bedtime.
Your prediction
is.
It's 9 minutes past.
It's getting on. So, I was going with a 28-point loss.
Okay. Very optimistic of you two. Lauren?
Yeah, I can't see us winning this one.
Oh.
No, we've cooked it.
If Lauren says we're losing, we're stuffed.
It's just really hard to have confidence in this game against, Brisbane are just so good.
Yeah.
They actually do play really well against us at home most of the time. And can play anywhere. So I just feel like they're just firing on all 4 cylinders and we're puttering on 2, maybe 3 at the moment. I felt like this week against the Bulldogs was a big test of our depth, and it was a disappointing result.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It could have just been the week. Could have just been shit Ballarat. Could have been the cold. Could have been, just like you said, Gus, foot off the gas a little bit, you know,
Yep.
because confidence. But look, I want that again. I would just like it to be a close game, but yeah, I can't see us winning. So I feel like Brisbane probably by 4 goals at least.
Well, just for no other reason than to create a bit of banter on the pod, and I have zero confidence, not going to tip us, but on this pod, as recorded now, I'm going to say the Crows will win by 12 points.
We have it on record.
We have it on record.
Is this one of your neck on the line sort of?
Neck on the line.
Not actually going to do the tip.
Not actually going to tip.
Yeah.
But it's recorded, so I can't lie.
The kahunas on your Dan is amazing.
12 points. Cahons. Didn't that get said last year? Yeah. 12 points. All right. So we'll see what happens there.
But here's a hypothetical. We come in next week and we've lost the game by 12 points. They kicked a goal late to go to 12 points. Are we happy?
Not happy. We're never happy with that loss.
I'm always happy if we can take it up to a strong team. And Brisbane are one of the strongest teams.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be unhappy.
Yeah.
I won't be elated.
No, of course. I didn't mean it that way. More just the hypothetical was in, you know, like I guess how close we get. Are we going to? So then, if it happens, then we can.
I'm going to take all the wins we get.
I'll be ecstatic if we win because when we looked at this stretch of 4 games, or whatever it was, like I thought we'd go maybe 0-4. So we've won 1 out of 3. If we can go 2-4, then hopefully win the next 2 after that, then we go into the bye really strong.
Yeah. So how many? We've won 5, haven't we? So we still need to win another one to make me wrong about my pre-bye predictions.
We do have West Coast.
Oh. Do we? No, we don't.
Yep.
Yeah.
Before the bye.
Suns and West
in
Coast.
Adelaide Oval.
Oh, we have Suns and West Coast.
But Suns aren't an easy beat anymore.
I take that all back.
Suns in Gold Coast is not an easy beat.
I only thought we had the Suns.
It's Suns in Darwin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I take that. All back.
And Sam will be there, so he'll make it worse.
No, I'm not going to be there now.
Not going to go?
I'm the week after. I couldn't afford to stay there a week.
That's a shame.
Yeah. Very disappointing.
I'm glad some of the people in the pod know what's going on. Anyway, Muffy Malone Brewing Hazy Pale. What were the thoughts on that beer?
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I thought it was all right. It was pretty much what I expected from a 4.5% hazy.
Yeah, I thought it was relatively easy to drink and tasted all right.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Ben?
Light and tangy.
Light and tangy. I like the thins. And Lauren, we discussed this. You weren't a big fan?
Not my favourite, no.
That's all right.
Couldn't finish it. Didn't rate it that much. Sorry, Muffy.
A nice up-and-coming brewery. They've got a few beer options. Check them out on Instagram, Muffy Malone. I'm sure they're going to do some good things in the future. You've been listening to Here We Crow. It's been we've been a bit flat around the results of the last week, but we'll be up and about if they can be competitive on Sunday. This week it's the Lions. Jump onto our website to grab some merch. HereWeCrow.com. .au. Thank you. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Ben.
Thanks, Dan.
And thank you, Lauren.
Thanks, Dan.
And thank you, listeners, for joining us yet again. Goodbye.
Bye.